Hey, if you're an e-commerce manager, listen up, as in this episode of Ask Aaron, I'm going to share with you the 8 numbers that you absolutely need to know in order to make smart marketing decisions and really grow your brand. It's going to be a lot of fun. Let's get into it. So look, there are so many metrics and so many numbers that you could and potentially should know. I've boiled these down to 8 numbers that I think every e-commerce manager really needs to know and get under the skin of in order to be able to make the smart marketing decisions that's really going to grow your brand. So what are they? Some of them are pretty obvious. Some of them you might know already. Some of them maybe not. Now, the first one, average customer value. So important, and you may already know this. And now with all of these metrics, you can pull them out of Google Analytics. You can get them out of, some of them are going to be ad specific, so pull them out of Google Ads. You've obviously got your own sales systems, your own website, CRMs, etc., etc. It's going to be different for everyone watching this. Now, understanding average customer value is so important for a myriad of different ways. And you can pull this very easily out of Google Analytics, and just understanding that and then understanding with all of these what it is today, what it was previously, and crucially then, once you understand what it was, what it is, you can then start to forecast and plan ahead and run hypotheticals and do forecast mapping in terms of, well, if our average customer value today is X, if we got it to Y, what would that look like? So just understanding your average customer value, that is number one. That is one of the most important things you can understand. Now, second to that, and as important, is then understanding your average lifetime value. So again, depending on your brand, depending on the product or products that you sell, the lifetime value can be an incredibly important indicator. If you have a repeat purchase, if the frequency of which customers buy your product is quite high, then understanding the lifetime value and the repeat rate and all of that good stuff, hugely important. We've got some of our brands where understanding that is as important, if not more important, than understanding the customer value. And that's where products are on subscriptions and stuff like that. So understanding the lifetime value as well as the customer value on a single transaction, hugely important. And again, all of this data, very, very easy to pull out of your sales systems and your website data and so on. Just, as long as you have a spreadsheet, you're going to be good as gold with all of this. Now, a couple of others that you might do, but equally you might not do in some of the e-commerce managers that we work with, because just to sort of segue a little bit, one of the reasons I wanted to share this is as an agency, as a digital marketing agency, we work with a lot of e-commerce managers and brand managers and so on, where we have to essentially sort of put a virtual arm around them and really guide them and work with them on this stuff and really work with them to understand their numbers, because understanding all of this enables us to do a better job in marketing their business and helping them to ultimately grow their brands. So the third one on the list is new versus returning customers. Now, what do I mean by this? Well, again, the lifeblood of any new business, any brand, is in new customers. So we all need to be acquiring new customers. What we need to understand is, of all the sales we made this month or this quarter or year on year, how many of them were from new customers? How many of them were from returning customers? Now, it's not black and white because, of all of the way that data is tracked, and it's data-driven, attribution these days and all of that good stuff. But just getting as best we can a picture of what's going on and what percentage of our customers are new, how many are returning. And if you overlay your database into this, which is again relatively straightforward to do based on how you've got things set up, that can really tell you, okay, 30% of our clients or 40% or 50% of our clients, coming in are new customers. Okay, that's great. And you can then work out, well, what's it costing us to acquire a new customer? So just splitting that. Analytics has got some relatively basic ways you can pull out the data to see new versus returning. If you overlay your own data on it, you're really going to be able to see that stuff. So understanding your new versus returning on a month-on-month, year-on-year, quarter-on-quarter, very, very important to do. Also, another one that you may do but you may not is understanding the channel split. So understanding as a brand, I've done other videos on this and I'll include the links to them, but understanding how reliant your brand is on a per channel basis. So what reliance and proportion of your sales are coming from your paid media channels versus your organic channels versus your email marketing versus your referral traffic versus direct, etc., etc. Understanding that and understanding how it's evolved, how it's changed over the months, over the years, and then being able to map that looking forward, very, very important to do. And all of this gets so much easier to forecast ahead if you understand what's gone before. So just getting into it, pulling the data, getting into the numbers, very, very important to do. And understanding your channel split of, okay, are overly reliant on paid advertising right now, when our SEO is only generating us 5% of our total revenue. Okay, that's a problem. How do we raise that? How do we have less of a reliance on paid? Or, we're too reliant on this referral, or our email used to be a huge channel for us and it's now died a death and we need to pick it back up. What do we need to do? What's going on there? These are all the things we see and hear every single day. And and I know brands that are watching this will be able to relate to it. Yeah, that sounds familiar. So understanding your channel split, very important to do. So make sure you're asking the right questions, you're looking at the right data. Built on from that is then understanding the ROI per channel. So the return on investment on a per channel basis. Now, again, it's not an exact science. It's very difficult to get this to be exact, but just working out and running the numbers to calculate, well, what is the total return on investment for our paid channels? What have we put in? What have we got back out? Our SEO, our content marketing, our email marketing, who's doing it? What are we investing in? What's been our return in terms of our tracked return? It's not going to be an actual, but you can get a tracked return, and it will weight things, and it will give you a sense of, okay, well, that's working, that's not working, this is good, that's in decline, or this is plateauing, or the frequency of that, we've reduced it or we've increased it and we've seen a drop off. It enables you to make those really smart decisions, which will have a compounding effect to really help your brand grow. So just understanding the ROI and starting to map out, and again, map this back. If you haven't already, go back a year or two, look at it. Well, what was it doing? What return? Are you getting a diminishing return, or are you getting an increased return? Is there one channel that's really standing out and others are dropping back? What's going on and why and how? Very important to do. When it comes to your paid ad spend, now most of the brands, if not all the brands we work with, are doing paid in one form or another, or either on Meta or with Google or with Bing, on shopping, Performance Max, all of that good stuff. So mapping and truly understanding your ROAS. And I've done lots of Ask Aaron videos on Google Ads and making sure you get your conversion tracking right. And so you're accurately tracking your return on ad spend, your ROAS, is incredibly important. And when you're making sure, as well as making sure it's accurate, what you also need to be making sure is understanding what is your return on ad spend for your paid spend. So in the simplest form, what have we invested in the last year, business year to date, or whatever it might be? What have we got back out? And how does that compare to what we set as a target? If you haven't got targets, stop what you're doing and make sure you go and get some targets, because it's very easy. You would never get in your car and start driving if you didn't have a destination in mind, right? You need to understand what success looks like, even if it's a stepping stone of, okay, well, this year, if we can get a 3 times ROAS, that would be fantastic. And then we'll look to grow from there. Or I want a 4 times ROAS or whatever. What you don't want to be doing is investing in without a clear sense of what are you trying to achieve? Where are you trying to go? What does success look like in the coming weeks, the coming months? For our clients, we absolutely insist. We say, well, look, we work all these numbers out. And then we say, well, look, if we invest X and we got Y back, what does that look like? How does that fit into the overall business? What do we think in terms of levels of returns, et cetera, et cetera? So whatever the medium you're using, whatever media you're using when it comes to, if you're paying to advertise your brand, be very clear on what the target ROAS is and then what the actual return on ad spend was. Incredibly important to do. And we see a lot of e-com managers not doing this as robustly as they should. So what else? You've then got the last two here are your month on month and your year on year revenue versus target. And again, this is a bit zoomed out a little bit, these ones, and it's basically just understanding where is your total revenue. So based on your business year, your calendar year, whatever you follow as a brand, where is your revenue in terms of, make sure you're tracking your revenue. And this is often what a lot of brands are doing this bit. They're missing some of this, but they're often doing this. So make sure you are and you're clear by all of this will feed into these, and make sure that month on month, year on year, maybe quarter on quarter, depending on your brand, you might be season on season, whatever, but make sure that you're tracking total revenue and then against target, so you can see where you're running essentially. And just doing that, it's enabled us literally just in recent weeks where we can see, okay, we're running ahead or we're running behind based on target. Okay, we need to double down, or we need to reallocate budget or reallocate resource to make, again, smart marketing decisions that enable us to ensure that we surpass target, that we meet our KPIs, and we can really kick that brand on. And by having all of, it's very difficult, you can get an understanding of these to understand, okay, well, we're tracking 10% ahead, 20% ahead, or we're running behind or whatever. It's by having all of this and a solid understanding of all of this other stuff enables you to feed in and go, okay, well, now I know this, utilizing this is what I can do about it. I can deploy that, I can go and change that, I can dial this up, I can ramp this up, I can change this, change that. So, that's not every number you need to know, but those are 8 key numbers that if you're a brand manager, an e-com manager, if you're working for a brand, if you are super mindful and aware of these 8 things, it will massively improve your ability to really understand and make the smart marketing decisions when it comes to your paid media activity, your SEO activity, what your content marketing, how you're going to do your email marketing with, and so on and so forth. So thought I'd share those with you because it's very topical. It's based largely on the conversations that we've been having very recently with some of the e-com managers that we work with, and I thought it might be useful for some of you lovely YouTube viewers. So I hope it's been useful. If you've enjoyed it, if you found it useful, please do give the video a like. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel as we've got lots more videos coming soon, and I will see you on the next one. Take care.